Hello, and welcome back to Kookaburra, where knowledge meets inner wisdom. In the previous video, we looked at how your mind works and why becoming the observer of your own thoughts and reactions is so important. Today, I want to take you one step deeper. Your subconscious mind. And once you begin to understand how it works, many things about your own behavior may suddenly start making much more sense. Your subconscious mind is working all the time. You do not have to think about it. When you walk, you do not consciously calculate how to move every muscle. When you drive a familiar road, sometimes you arrive at your destination and realize that you hardly remember the journey. Your conscious attention may have been somewhere else, but another part of your mind was still doing the job. This is one of the great advantages of the subconscious mind. It allows us to automate things. Imagine having to consciously think about every movement every time you tied your shoelaces. Life would be almost impossible. So the subconscious learns patterns and then runs them automatically. But here is where things become interesting. It does not only automate physical skills, it can also automate emotional reactions, beliefs, and behaviors. How the programming begins. Much of our subconscious programming begins very early in life. As children, we are constantly learning about the world. We learn what is safe and what is dangerous, what brings approval and what brings rejection, what love looks like, what relationships look like, what we believe about ourselves. And much of this happens before we have enough life experience to properly evaluate what we are learning. Imagine a child who repeatedly hears, "You are lazy. You will never be good at anything. Stop crying. Money is difficult to earn. People cannot be trusted." The child may not consciously decide, "I am going to make this part of my belief system." It simply becomes part of the information being absorbed. And if the same message is repeated often enough, particularly when it comes from somebody important to us, it may become deeply embedded. Eventually, the original situation may be completely forgotten, but the program can remain. The program may outlive the memory. This is something I find particularly important. You do not have to consciously remember an experience for it to continue influencing you. A person may be 50, 60, or 70 years old and still react emotionally according to something learned in childhood. The adult mind may say, "This makes no sense." But the subconscious is not necessarily responding to what is happening now. It may be responding according to an old program. That is why sometimes our reactions seem much stronger than the situation deserves. Someone makes a small criticism, and suddenly you feel deeply hurt. Someone does not return your phone call, and you immediately feel rejected. Someone tells you what to do, and you become unusually angry. The present situation may simply have touched an old button, and the moment that button is pressed, the old program starts running. It is important to understand something here. Your subconscious mind is not trying to sabotage you. Quite the opposite. Many of these programs originally developed as ways of helping you function, adapt, or protect yourself. The problem is that the subconscious may continue using an old solution long after the original situation has disappeared. Imagine that as a child, you learned, "If I stay quiet, I stay safe." Perhaps that was very useful in the environment where you grew up. But 30 or 40 years later, the same program may prevent you from speaking up when someone treats you badly. The program is still doing its job. It simply does not realize that the circumstances have changed. This also helps explain why changing ourselves can sometimes be surprisingly difficult. Consciously, you may decide, "From now on, I am going to behave differently," and you genuinely mean it. But then the right situation appears, and suddenly you are doing exactly the same thing again. Why? Because your conscious decision and your subconscious programming may be pulling in different directions. Your conscious mind says, "I want to change," but the subconscious says, "This is how we survive." And because the subconscious reaction is automatic, it can happen before you have even had time to think about it. This is why simply telling someone to think positively is often not enough. You can repeat positive statements all day long, but if there is a strong subconscious belief underneath saying the opposite, that belief needs to be recognized. Your reactions are clues. This brings us back to something we discussed in the previous video: becoming the observer. Your automatic reactions can actually become very useful clues. Instead of judging yourself for reacting strongly, become curious about the reaction. Ask yourself, why did this affect me so much? Not, what is wrong with me? But, where did that reaction come from? There is a big difference. You are no longer trapped inside the reaction. You are beginning to observe the program that created it. And once you can observe a program, you have already taken an important step toward changing it. A simple example. Imagine somebody criticizes something you have done. One person may simply think, fair enough, maybe I can improve it. Another person may immediately feel angry. Another may feel ashamed. Another may become defensive. The event is the same. The reactions are different. Why? Because each person is experiencing the event through their own subconscious programming. We do not simply react to the world. Very often, we react to what the world means to us, and that meaning has been shaped by our previous experiences. Over the next few days, continue the exercise from the previous video. Watch your automatic reactions, but this time, go one step further. When you notice a strong reaction, ask yourself, does this reaction really belong to what is happening now? Or could something older have been activated? You do not have to analyze your entire childhood. You do not have to force yourself to find an answer. Simply become aware. Awareness itself begins to change your relationship with the program. Instead of automatically being controlled by it, you begin to see it, and that is where real change can begin. You are more than your programming. Perhaps the most important thing I want you to take from this video is this. Your subconscious programming is not who you are. It is information you have accumulated. Some of it is useful. Some of it may have protected you. And some of it may no longer belong in your life. But before you can change a program, you first need to recognize that it exists. That is why understanding your subconscious mind is such an important part of understanding yourself. In the next video, we will continue going deeper and look at how some of these subconscious programs can be recognized and changed. Until then, simply observe. You may discover that some of the things you thought were simply part of your personality were actually learned a very long time ago. Thank you for watching. This is Kookaburra, where knowledge meets inner wisdom, and I'll see you in the next video.